Hey Daniel, this is Truman. Just wanted to give you a couple comments on your ideas review. I'm glad to see that it looks a lot different this time. I'm going to consider this as your revision, and it's actually quite a good revision. So when you do another revision, that'll sort of count as two revisions, which is worth more than just a single revision in my book. So you're really going to benefit from handling it the way you did. So a few comments, and they're really not too hard to fix. One, I made for the rest of the class for when people were looking at their final arguments. I made these little mini tutorials. You're going to want to take a look at all four of those tutorials. Specifically, you're going to want to look at how to handle the APA citation format. That's going to be really important, where you've got the page number, the author's name, and the date. You want to make sure you take a good close look at how that works. You also want to look at how the bibliography is done. So the bibliographic entries, so like this right here is an in-text citation. You want to look at the APA for that. And here you've got the page number, the year, and the author's name. Okay, but then when we come down here, this is the bibliography, and you're supposed to have an annotated bibliography. Now, it looks like you've got some bibliographic information down here for these entries, but it's not quite formatted right, and there's not quite enough of it. You're going to want to look at those mini tutorials that I put together and double check your formatting here to make sure it's APA. You're going to want to go to the OWL, the Purdue OWL site. And also, these annotations need to be at least 100 words for this. So you want to make sure that this is 100 words, this is 100 words, this is 100 words, and so on. So those are important. This paragraph right here is absolutely great. It's your best paragraph by far. You do a really nice job of putting these authors in conversation with each other. You've got Feldman and Hendricks and Cochrane all going back and forth. It's great. One thing you might want to consider, well, hold on. And you also do that here with what I think is a conclusion, and especially this is a nice phrase up here. Every article agrees on one thing, and then you go and you compare and contrast. But really, the only person you quote in here is Feldman. So it would be much better if you could actually bring in quotes to support each of the authors that you're talking about in here. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was that sometimes your quotations can get quite long, and if you're shooting for a B+, A- on this thing, you're really going to want to break these into smaller pieces. Just focus on the part of the quotation that really has meaning for you, the most important part, the part of the quotation that you want to talk about. And then I guess there was one more thing. See down here, you've got Hendricks and Anderson, and you're putting them into the same paragraph. That puts them in conversation with each other. That's excellent. Here you do it, you're at your best, because you've got a whole bunch and you've got quotations. And down here you're also doing really well, but you just don't have enough quotations. And when you do have the quotations, they need to be shorter. But if you look up here at these first couple of paragraphs, you've only got one author in this paragraph, and you've only got one author in this paragraph. So again, you're going to want to introduce at least another author or two to show how Feldman's ideas are like and different from some of the ideas of the other authors. And the same thing goes for your paragraph with Cochrane. That said, I think that's plenty to work on for this. If you address those things, I think you're shooting for a good solid B+ on this. Yeah, so I will, I guess I still need to give you some comments on your, what's that called? on your closing argument. So I'll move on to that next. Good luck on this. Send me an email when you've got it turned in.